Hey, what's up, guys? I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work out. I was just having some thoughts. I was on my way home from the kickboxing gym, and I was just talking with a fighter, and it really just, I felt like it hit me. Like I could, I don't know, I was on to something, and I'm a very deep person. I like to think a lot, and I don't know. There were so many things that was connecting with this fighter that kind of is connecting with me in trading. It makes me happy because I feel like I'm naturally catching myself and doing the right things. And I kind of wanted to, I don't know, talk about that a little bit. Because I don't know, I feel like it's going to help somebody. Maybe, most of my friends are fighters anyways, or like in the fight circle. But I also feel like it also helps you out in life because for me at least, it definitely correlates with my life. And what I was trying to tell them is you have to follow the plan. You have to know what the plan is and follow it. So they have two combinations. That's it. And they're having a hard time because like they just weren't fucking doing it. They weren't doing it. And I was like, but I was trying to explain to them. I was like, the reason that my old kickboxing gym is the best in the country is because the system. It literally like I will argue until I'm blue in the face. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks or if this hurts somebody's feelings. It is the most complex system, and like if you can learn how to control your emotions and be present enough, I truly believe that there's no system in America at least that can beat this system. Like hands down. No shit. And I don't know. Maybe that's part of the reason that like I would get so overconfident in my fights because I truly believe that with every freaking fiber of being I have. And sorry if you guys hear something. My wife is grooming a dog, and so we stay very busy. We have multiple businesses and all that kind of stuff. So, or I might have my little fat bulldog come busting in here and is gonna start, you know, wanting to play with their bone or something. But anyways, as explained to the person that they need to follow the process. Cool. You have two combinations. The first thing you do is collect data. Are you landing the punch or are you not landing the punch? If you're not landing the punches or you're not landing the combinations, why? Are they evading it? Are they countering? Like like they're doing the same shit that I used to do when I come in. I would just do the work, just do the work. But like you don't need like it's good to work. It's good to be a hard worker, but like you need to take that drive that you have and you need to refocus it in a different way. And like you need to put that same output into something that's smarter. Like you need to work smarter, not harder. Like but like you need to work just as hard, but in a smart way. And like when you connect those two together, boom, it's like freaking, it's like the holy grail. And I don't know, it's literally like trading. And it's funny because I was telling a fighter today that like I'm super happy because I feel like my trading is doing really really well. But then like it's really funny because it's like it is doing really well. I'm doing great. But like the funny thing is, I'm gonna show my stats here in a second. This is all I made the entire week, which is funny as hell because like literally, like my entire career, I would have like I wanted to like shoot myself. I made this in a day. I made this in an entire week. But like I don't know, like I've always been about a 32% trader. And but like for me, out of all of these trades, the only trade that I really, really screwed up on was this one. That's it. Bro, like, that's not entirely true. This one, and this one. So there's three times I really screwed up this because I wasn't following the system 100%. I put on too much risk. I sized down a lot because what I realized was I was doing the same thing that I would do in kickboxing, where it's like the difference is I had a coach that really protected me and really cared about me, and luckily, like because of that, he probably saved a ungodly amount of brain cells because my overconfident ass wanted to fight the world champions. I was like, dude, I am fucking ready. Like, let's do this shit. And in some areas I was ready, but in other areas I wasn't developed in the right areas that would have made me ready for that stage because I wasn't I fell out of love with the process. That's what I was explaining to the fighter. I was like, dude, it's just a process. Like you and each person takes more time than others in certain areas. And like, I don't know, like we all have different gifts, we all have different emotions. And for me, like, honestly, I really truly believe that the reason that I did not get to where I wanted to in life or in kickboxing was because I didn't work enough on my confidence. And I want to share like a little, like a private story. Like very few people like actually know this, but it was crazy because I was listening to a David Goggins. I think I've talked about this before. When I talked about one of my last fights, I fought against a dude named Derek from Canada. Hardest fight I ever had in my entire life. And because I was scared shitless. The second I found out that he was in my bracket, I was like, dude, he's gonna fucking kill me. So I just watched him like knock out like pretty much everybody in his division in Italy like 3 or 4 years earlier. And I remember sitting up there, I was like, well, I'm too small. I'm really glad I'm never gonna have to fight this dude. And then, fast forward, a couple years later, and I got my freaking big boy size, and I started gaining weight, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta fight this dude. Like, and it was funny because I think it's my buddy Aaron that told me to listen to David Goggins, and so I listened to it, and like in there, he's talking about how you need to find something in yourself that you believe in more than anything in the world, and like you need to think of these things that you've accomplished that you're so proud of, that no matter how down you get, how low you get, you can always pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just get going. Why? Because you've fucking done it before. Stop being a bitch. Stop crying. Like that. That's the one thing for me. I'm not empathetic at all. Like when I start seeing people cry and like I don't know, like just get like defeated. Like for me, like I know it's probably not right, but like I view it as weakness. And because for me, I'm like, dude, you can do anything you want in life, but people are so fucking weak now that like they don't want to push through. And so for me, I'm like when I was listening to that, it was crazy because he like he wanted what are some things that you've done that you're proud of? And I swear to God, I sat there for like 30 minutes and I couldn't think of anything. Like there was nothing I could think of that I was actually proud of. And then 1 second, I had my first thought that I was like, honestly, I'm really proud of this. And all of a sudden, boom, it's like a dam broke. And I started having a million different things that flooded my head. And I was just like, dude, I've done a lot of really cool shit. It doesn't fucking matter what you think. The person watching this, it doesn't fucking matter what you think. You can think that I haven't accomplished shit in life. I don't care. Because for me, I've accomplished a lot of shit. I'm very proud of myself. I've done a lot of things, but like for me, if I would have done that earlier in my fight career, I feel like I would have found a completely different level. And like I remember, like I know my coach was like, "Dude, Adam is fucking terrified to fight this guy." And I remember like walking to the ring, and he looked at me, and I'm too observant. Like he's like, "Dude, please, please, please let Rockstar Adam show up. Please let Rockstar Adam show up. Don't let him get killed, please." And I was like, I remember looking at him, I was like, dude, I got this shit. And I gave him a hug, and I got in the ring, and I did. I fucking won. But like, dude, that dude was the toughest motherfucker I've ever fought in my life. I dropped him with a freaking elbow. I hit him so damn hard, it hurt my elbow. He got back up. I'm pretty sure he broke his hand in the fight, punching me. And dude, he fought the whole fight. I won a split decision. I'm pretty sure it's a split decision. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. I won a decision. But like, dude, like the toughest motherfucker ever. But like, it like when I was explaining to like I know I just went off on a tangent, but like You got to find that thing that you believe in. And for me, the thing that I always believed in was the system. I believed in my coach. I believed in the system. The problem is, in my trading, I don't have a fucking. I like you have to create your own system in trading because it doesn't fucking matter what anybody else does. They could. There's a million different ways to trade. Like I was explaining earlier in one of my videos. Like every time you take a trade, like when you start getting good enough and you can calm down and like look at things and like you have enough experience, there is always an other side to that trade. Like say you're looking for a long, you're buying it, looking for it to go higher. There's a reason that other people on the other side that are shorted because there's a setup there that meets their criteria. The problem is it's such common sense, but it's like you need that because if you don't have that, there is no liquidity, there is no move, there is no nothing. But like if you don't follow the system 100%, you're not gonna do it. And like what I was telling this fighter, I was like, you have a system. And in that system, he's breaking out two pieces you need to follow, two combinations. That's it. It's literally that fucking simple. And like, okay, like you either get like he always says, you either get on the front end or you get on the back end. What that means is, are you aggressive? Are you the aggressor? Are you the dominant one in the ring? Cool, which is what I always was. I was always the dominant one. I was always the aggressor all the time. And for me, I would always try to get on the front end, but where I would mess up is I'm missing a piece because you're also supposed to get on the back end because they're gonna do moves back. They're gonna have a response to your moves, and like you need to react to that. Like I don't know my trading, like once you take a trade, like it's out of your hands. Like that's the one thing I have a hard time with in fighting. It's not there. Like it's never out of your hands. You can always do something. That is like one of the hardest things I have to deal with in trading is because like I have no control, and I really feel like because of kickboxing, I don't like that. I need control, and but like I don't know, like you have to keep replicating over and over and over. And like I was telling the fighter, I was like, there is something that's holding you back. The second that Eric or my coach says that you have a fight, boom, you're emotional, you're triggered. Okay, well like what are the things that are holding you back? Like what are the things that you need to I don't know like for me, that like all they need to do, it doesn't matter if they lose every freaking round for their entire fight camp. Right now, at their stage, all they need to be doing is those two combinations over and over and over and over and over and over. Doesn't matter if they land it. Doesn't matter if they like. Doesn't fucking matter. That's not the point. The point is finding trust in the system and doing it over and over, which is what I like. I always do the same shit, like where I'm trying to like skip over stages. And luckily, like in kickboxing, I had a coach that put me in safeguards. He truly, truly loved me and cared about me, and he protected me from myself. The problem is in trading, I don't have that. And so like there's been so many times that I've absolutely destroyed myself. And if I didn't have the good like that good of a coach in kickboxing, I would probably be fucking licking windows right now because I would have got myself into so many freaking stupid situations that I would be fucking brain dead right now because that's who I am. I always push it, always go for it. And it's like you have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over until you catch yourself in real time. When you have a coach, like when I was coaching people, at the very beginning, you would always tell them, you gotta keep your hands up. That's the only fucking padding you have in fighting. Like you're padding your gloves to protect your most valuable thing, your head. I have to have my hands up. Well, like beginners would never keep their hands up. So you tell them over and over and over and over, keep your hands up, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. Dude, keep your fucking hands up. How many times do I gotta tell you? Keep your goddamn hands up. And they wouldn't. So then what I did, like, I just walked behind them, sneak behind them, pop, smack them in the side of the head. I didn't hit them hard, but like enough to be like, well, what the hell was that? It's like, dude, keep your hands up. I would do that over and over and over and over. And eventually, they like, I don't know, it's like anything. It's like it's a dog, a kid, a coworker, whatever. Like you're training it, and like I don't know, like eventually, like they'd see me out of the corner of their eye, and they put their. I'm like, man, why can you all of a sudden put your hands up when you see me coming? And like they'd be like, huh, I don't know, that's weird. And eventually, like they would catch themselves making that mistake, but like you have to keep doing it over and over and over, which brings me to the next point of like you have to fall in love with the process. If you don't fall in love with the process, you try to skip things, it's gonna screw you over. Like this, for instance, like I'm not joking. I literally would have freaking like lost my shit like a year ago. If I made this in one day, I'd be so freaking pissed off. It's not even funny. I remember like one of the worst trading experiences I ever had in my entire life. I'll never forget it ever. My little brother came in. I was up $800 on a trade, and back then I was like if I didn't make $1,000 on like a day, like I wasn't doing very good at all. And I remember he came in. I was so freaking cocky, and he told me something I'm never going to forget for the rest of my life. And like he came in and he's like, "Oh, how much did you make today?" I was like, "Ah, I only made $800." I was like, I want to stay in the position. I'm going to I want to wait till it gets to $1,000 and then I'll call it a day." Well, the fucking thing didn't go to $1,000. It went down like literally $800 was like the lowest point that I could have been in. But like I kept fighting. I kept fighting. I wasn't being present, and it squeezed up. And then all of a sudden, like I'm not at $800. I'm at 600, then 500, then 400, then 300. And at that time, my max loss used to be $350, and I fought this stock all the way to like I gave back all $800, and end of the day locked out by my broker that I was down $350. I sat there. I never felt like that was the first time that I was like, dude, what the fuck did you just do? And it reminds me of like being overconfident, getting kicked in the fucking neck, and going to sleep in front of all my friends and family. And it's like, dude, like did the same shit. And it's like my brother told me, he's like, your problem is like you just like I want to go from 0 to 100. Like I like, and I don't know, like since going back to the kickboxing gym, I see my posters, my trophies and stuff, and it makes me start thinking like, where am I in my trading career that I would be like where would I be? And like honestly, like no joke, I think that I'm better at trading than I was at kickboxing. I really do. I think that I'm at a higher level in trading than I ever was in kickboxing. But because of that, and because I don't know, I'm literally having to coach myself. And that I think that's why it's so fun for me to go back to the kickboxing gym, because I really do try to give back to the fighters. And like it's funny because when I say shit to them, like in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, dumbass, why don't you listen to your own advice? Like it's so funny because it's like you really are your own worst enemy, and like it doesn't matter. Like I said, like for me, I get super into whatever I'm doing. Like yeah, I'm not into kickboxing anymore. Like I'm older. And like honestly, like with my family, it's. I remember my coach saying something to me, and I never understood what the hell he meant. But like, because at that time, like I was partying my ass off. I was chasing women. I was just being a wild man. And because I was loving it. Like I made a name for myself as a kickboxer. And I felt like I felt like I was somebody. And like I would be in such a rush to go home from the kickboxing gym. Like I had my whole life revolved around kickboxing and partying. That's it. That's all I cared about. And like I remember him telling me, he's like, yeah, the weirdest thing is like I used to rush home so I could get dressed and go out partying and being wild and stuff. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what I do. He's like, yeah, but like I started catching myself to where I rush home because I can't wait to be home. And I'm like, huh? Why? Like that doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. Now that I have my family, it's like, dude, everything I'm doing is just for my family. And I don't know. It's really funny because I need to fall in love with following the process. Because I'm going to make so much money that I'm going to be able to take care of everybody I love. But I don't know. I need to just follow those two combinations and just keep my fucking hands up. So I don't know. Food for thought.